Welcome to the lecture series on ME 203 Mechanics of Fluids offered for 3rd semester mechanical engineering students under APJ Abdul Kalam Kerala Technological University. The current topic of discussion is a subtopic in Module 1, Introduction and Basic Concepts. What a fluid is. A fluid can be generally regarded as any substance either in the liquid form or in the gaseous form. A fluid is different from a solid in its ability to respond to an applied shear or tangential force that tends to change its shape. Let us see. Consider a block of rubber placed in between a stationary lower plate and a movable upper plate. Let a tangential force F be applied to the upper plate that causes the rubber block to deform to an angle alpha as shown here. However, this applied force F will be opposed by the internal resistance of this rubber block to deformation and also the friction between the upper plate and the rubber block. Under equilibrium, the net force acting on this block will be 0. Hence, the removal of the applied force F will cause this deformed rubber to come to its initial position when the applied force F is within the elastic limit of this rubber material. But when the applied force F is beyond the elastic limit of this rubber block, what happens is this rubber block gets permanently deformed and no recovery into its initial form is possible. So in short, a solid can resist an applied shear force by deforming to a finite amount, say alpha. This is not the case of a fluid. In the case of a fluid, the applied tangential or shear force will cause the layers of fluid to deform as shown here. As we know, fluid moves as layers one over the other. The upper layer in contact with the movable upper plate will move with the same velocity v, but the lower layers will be slowed down. Why? Because there is friction acting between the adjacent layers. This friction will cause the subsequent fluid layers to slow down, and at the surface of the stationary plate the velocity of the layer will be 0. So there is a variation of velocity happening across the section in the L direction, and here it is shown as a linear variation from 0 to V. So in short, a fluid under the application of an applied shear force will deform continuously as long as that force is acting over there. But when this force is removed, the liquid will obviously come to a new equilibrium position. What is the difference between liquids and gases? As we know, in liquids, the intermolecular forces of attraction are far better as compared to gases, but weaker as compared to solids. So, in liquids, they move as group of molecules. Because of the strong cohesive forces between the molecules, the liquids generally form the shape of the container to which it is poured, and it will form a free surface. However, in gases, the intermolecular attraction is very weak. And why? Because the cohesive forces are very small. So here, when gas is poured into an open container, what happens? The gas will simply escape and it won't form any free surface because the atomic attraction is very weak. Some of the application areas of fluid mechanics are shown here: natural flows and weather predictions, boats, ships, submarines, etc., aircraft, rockets, spacecraft, etc., power plants, human body. Our heart itself is a pump that alternately fills and empties blood. Cars, from fuel injection into the exhaustion of the burned gases, all are based on the principle of fluid mechanics. Wind turbines, piping and plumbing systems, and so many industrial applications. A very important concept followed in the study of fluid mechanics is a continuum approach. So what is a continuum approach? Let's brief by explaining the example. Consider a pressure cooker to which a pressure gauge to measure the pressure inside the cooker is attached. Let some heat is input into the particular content within the pressure cooker. So what happens? the atoms or molecules within the pressure cooker will absorb this energy. Obviously, their kinetic energy will increase. They will move randomly, collide each other, and also with the wall of the container that will exert some pressure within the pressure cooker, which can be read by using this particular pressure gauge. So, in order to measure this property, which is pressure, there is no need of studying the individual molecules, isn't it? Such a concept is called continuum concept. So, in continuum concept, even though there are a number of atoms or molecules present, the behavior as a whole is considered without regarding any specific focus on particular molecules. Such a concept is called continuum approach. So in continuum approach, the fluid as a whole is considered as a continuous homogeneous matter without any holes. Such a concept will simplify the analysis of many fluid mechanics problems. Let us see some of the important properties of fluids. A few concepts that we have studied in our high school physics are listed here. The first important property is density or mass density, which is defined as the mass of the fluid per unit volume, and the unit is kilograms per meter cube, represented by the symbol rho. Density of some of the common fluids are listed here: air, wood, kerosene, ice, water, seawater, mercury. Let us see water. Here the density is 1000 kilograms per meter cube, which means in 1 cubic meters of volume 1000 kilograms of water can occupy. Let's compare with mercury. In case of mercury, in 1 cubic meters of volume 13,600 kilogram of mercury can occupy. So mercury is a denser liquid as compared to water, but kerosene is a lighter liquid as compared to water, because the density of kerosene is just 800 kilograms per meter cube. Next important property is weight density or specific weight, which is one of the very important properties which is very common while dealing practical problems. Weight density or specific weight, and the unit is Newton per cubic meter, represented by the symbol W. So specific weight is defined as the weight per unit volume. Weight we know, mass into gravity divided by volume. So this will give you W equal to rho into G, where rho is the density, G is the gravity, and W for water is 9810 Newton per cubic meter. Next property is relative density or specific gravity, which is regarded as symbol S. This is a very important property, very particularly used in problems. The density of any given substance is compared to the density of a standard substance, and for liquids this standard substance is water, and for gases this standard substance is air. So relative density or specific gravity is defined as the ratio of density of the liquid to the density of water, or the ratio of weight density of the liquid to the weight density of water, and for water this value is 1, and for mercury this value is 13.6, and for kerosene this value is around 0.8. So we can say mercury is a heavier liquid as its specific gravity is greater than 1, but kerosene is a lighter liquid as its density is below 1. Let's solve a problem. Calculate the density, specific weight, and the weight of 1 liter of petrol of specific gravity 0.7. Here the volume is given as 1 liter, and we know 1000 liters is equal to 1 cubic meter. So 1 liter is equal to 0.001 cubic meter. The specific gravity is given as 0.7. Density is specific gravity into 1000. That will give you 700 kilograms per cubic meter. Specific weight is given by rho G. Rho we already found out. Multiplied by G will give you specific weight. Next, we are asked to find out the weight of the particular petrol, given by specific weight is given by weight by volume. So weight is given by specific weight into volume and will give you 6.867 Newton.